Good evening, airgunners. I apologize for the mess. This is Airgunner's Edge, and I am back with the Hatsan AIRMAX 22 cal. Did some shooting today. Absolutely fabulous power, fabulous accuracy. At 90 yards, 40 shots, I missed 4, and that was just getting my scope set up. So I am so damn impressed with this rifle right now, except for the trigger. I swear I probably had a 7-pound pull on the trigger. Very undistinctive first stage and very unclear with not a clean break on the second stage. So here we are, and I'm going to demonstrate, well, I'll show you exactly what my issue with this gun was. This is a refurbished, but I'm just going to show. And if you do not know with the bullpups, the trigger is right here. The linkage goes all the way back up to here. So you have a lot of binding spots here. So I got this off. It's unloaded, of course. Always check, make sure no pellet. And I initially was pulling this and it was so hard and stiff. There was no definitive first or second stage. So my first thought was to loosen the center bolt up right here. That made no change at all. This is actually pretty good free floating. What I did find though, these were over tightened, these two screws for the linkage, and as you see they go front to back. Well, unfortunately, there is no spacer. This should be oversized and have a piece of tubing come down, so you can tighten this to the full extent of tightness and still have this move freely. Unfortunately, it's not that way. The good news is, these are very tight even after you loosen them up, so I do not have to worry about them coming out. That was part of my binding issue. Another issue, if you can see here, there is a spring, and I will just demonstrate. This is necessary, and if you're working on a trigger, you have to know what you're doing, and this is all up to the gun owner and whoever's working on this. Do not remove this. This is here for a reason. This could be very unsafe, and you could have a hair trigger, which could lead to injury or death. Do not remove it. But what I did, because there was so much tension here also, I took the bottom spring. Don't know if I can do this, but what I did, and you can see, I lifted up and I overbent it upward until I found a comfortable tension on here. There's still plenty of tension to keep the trigger safe, but it makes the trigger overall a much better feeling and reactive trigger. And come on, get back on there. Oops. Let me push that in. There we go. Okay. So do not remove this, but this, and I'm not telling you guys to do this, I'm showing you what I have done. This is all my videos ever are, is what I have done. Okay, second thing is this is tensioning for the sear. I'm gonna zoom in here. You see it shiny on the bottom? Well, this was cranked down way too much. So I backed it off. Actually, I took it right out. I wanted to see the spring that was in there. It's a very stiff spring. And I measured how far down to the beginning of that spring was. So I marked the set screw. I started bringing it down to where I know it was on top of the spring, and slowly increased it downward until I got to a comfortable spot and a safe spot. I have bumped this gun around. It will not go off. So therefore it's not a hair trigger, and that is what you do not want. Sounds like a good idea. It's not. You want a definitive first stage or no first stage at all. I have guns that don't have a first stage at all, but it has a positive second stage where you know where your finger is and how much more that trigger will go before the gun goes off. And that is my goal, to know and have a definitive trigger feel. I did leave the first stage on this. I actually enjoy it. It's short, it's easy. Okay, I did not have too much of an issue, even though I'm going to say this pin here has a tight tolerance. I'm okay with it. It's not binding up. It's very nice, actually. Oh, before I forget, as you see, there is another spring here. I may later on change that, but for right now, I'm comfortable with it. So until I do all the other work, I'm going to leave that exactly in there for now. I may change it later. I'll have to see. So I'm going to back this off. I will cock it. There's no pellet in it. Safety off. Short, but light, definitive first stage. Now I know if I give this a little pull, it will go off. And that's what I want to know. And that's what I need to know to be and have an accurate rifle. Watch, I'll give it a little pull. I knew exactly where that gun was going to go off. So after this gun should really perform. Yeah, I'm jumping into it quite fast, but I just could not. That trigger was unacceptable for me. And that's one big thing for me for accuracy and safety is a trigger that functions properly. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. What I'll do, since I have the stock off, there's only 2 screws that hold the stock on. You do have to take the adjustable cheek riser off first to get this off. And this is how this works. There's threads on here. There we go. Now you can see it. But that locks on very tight, which is very nice. No issues with that. These I actually did set up. I actually backed this one off. I mean, the first screw, I actually went down too far. And I won't lie, this is my second video. I went down too far, and as I was demonstrating, the gun went off. So I increased it, and I am making this video now. I don't mind. I'll even tell you guys, it didn't come out the first video, and I did not like the trigger. It was unsafe, unpredictable. So I redid the video, and here we are now with a very predictable short first stage, light, very definitive second stage. So this thing is beautiful. It's about a 1 pound pull, if that, maybe a little less. That's what I'm comfortable with. That's what works for me. So we're just going to take a look. Here's the drop lock that I was actually very interested in seeing. There's going to be a lot of parts to take off to work on this, but I always take videos, so I know how everything goes back together. I can always go back to my videos, and you will see here, it will come out here. There is a set screw here. I'm going to have to go through this with the video off when I disassemble, and I will make video and show everyone what does what. But this is where the regulator will go. I'm just going to have some fun with this gun right now. But you will see all the parts that have to be removed and come off. I'll go in step by step when I do it. And thankfully, one of my viewers actually suggested going with the carbon fiber bottle, but having the valve set up here for maybe 2800. And if I have a regulator right here, I can have a high pressure bottle, 4500, and it will only allow 28 to go into this, which is about 200 bar. And this tube will be safe. That way I will still have extra air, and I might even be able to keep the same size. Instead of going longer, where I would have to take the QE off, the shroud, which I kind of like on there because this is noisy. Not noisy, but more than I'm used to. This thing is a powerhouse. So if I can keep the same size bottle, that will be beautiful, and I thank the person who recommended that. Like I said, I'm new to bottles here, so this is new to me, and I thank you for your information. So anyways, I did notice this has a little looseness. I will probably shim this out. I'm kind of finicky and like that, so I have some stainless steel very fine washers. I'm gonna go inside here and I will switch that over. I love tuning, so doing this stuff doesn't bother me. Some people just want to buy a gun and have it absolutely perfect and not have to touch it. That's great. I didn't pay all that much for this refurbished, and I like doing the work myself. I trust myself more than I do others, so I make sure everything is right, and I just enjoy doing it. It makes you feel proud of the work you've done. Okay, we have all this back here. Like I said, once I get into it, tear into it, then I will be able to tell everyone. Okay, this from a video I did see is probably is where you adjust your hammer spring, or down here. I can't remember the video, but I just figured I'd go over this just to show everyone right now. I will polish and deburr the whole trigger assembly as I do with every rifle I own. But I am just very pleased how this trigger came out, and it didn't really take that long. So I'm used to doing this. So I just wanted to share this with you guys and let you know step by step on everything I'm doing to this gun. So if you're actually interested in ever owning this or the bullpup, then you'll have a reference to go by. I'm sure there's other videos on the bullpup, Bull Boss. Sorry, God, I keep messing that up. Anyways, just wanted to share this with you guys. I'm going to try doing some more practice tomorrow, do some more shooting. Actually, I've been using some air, but I got 40 shots off today. It wasn't exactly full. I probably have another 15 to 20 shots, and I have not ran this over the cranny yet, but this thing is hitting hard. I mean, really hard. So I think with a regulator and tuned down, once I figure out where I'm at, this thing is going to be an amazing rifle. Okay, I just wanted to share that information with you guys, and good shooting to everyone who has the good weather tomorrow. I don't know what the weather is supposed to be like, so we'll see. Alright, I wish you guys a good night. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. And I will keep you guys informed on everything I do to this gun. Have a good night.